You just told us before the commercial break, you really cared and wanted to make sure that Colin had a great workout. However, you did not follow him. You opted out of following him to the impromptu high school workout that he did. And I just want to understand, can you please describe the mistrust, the confusion, the misinformation that might have been there that would cause you to make such a decision?
Well, I made the decision because once I realized that it wasn't going to happen at Flowery Branch, again, as I said, that's where I was taken to, that's where I thought everything was happening. And to find out at 250, know that we're the next environment for him to work out at was going to be about an hour and 20 minutes away, is what the driver told me. And then I didn't get the invite until later on from the agent.
What time did you get that invite from the agent?
It was after 3, that, hey, look, Hugh, we'd love to have you come out. We'll do whatever. I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't think it was the right thing for me to do because his side, I'm talking about Colin's side, they're not the people who asked me to do this workout. The National Football League did. And I felt an obligation and responsibility to the National Football League that, hey, look, if we're not going to do this the right way, if we're not going to do this in Atlanta, that I shouldn't really be doing this.
Just as an aside, why do you believe the National Football League asked you to do it?
Because I think they thought that I would, one, connect with Colin, that I did know him, and that I'd do everything I could to put him in a very favorable light.
Coach, putting your former head coach hat on as well, do you think Colin's workout is valid enough, the one that he did in the high school, is valid enough for a team to take a chance on him?
I think people will want to see more. They would bring him in and work him out again.
Why more?
I just think because you're not sure, who was instructing him at this workout. And who can you really talk to know and get valuable information to make that kind of a decision to put a player on your football team?
Coach, if an NFL team wanted to work him out at any point until now, they could have.
Absolutely.
That's their right. They didn't. The NFL then apparently mandates this workout where everyone's supposed to show up. In your mind, when that's set up, if it were me, so I'm asking you, wouldn't you think that indicates that until then, the NFL told them not to work them out? In other words, if the NFL is instructing teams now, show up to this workout, because it was in there, any team could have worked them out at any time. Doesn't that indicate to you that the NFL had lifted some kind of ban? Why did they need to organize a league-wide workout?
I mean, you can look at that 2 ways, though, couldn't you? I understand your point, but the other side of that is maybe finally everybody's in a better position to evaluate the player the best way. I mean, or there's a need at this position for this particular player.
If I had a need a quarterback, I'd just work him out.
Oh, well, no doubt. I mean, but
unless the NFL was like, don't work him out.
No, like I said, I understand your point in saying that, but I mean, I still think there's another way to look at that. I really do.
Which is what? I'm just curious.
I just said. I just think, when you really think through it, if you're going to say that, boy, they were stopping the workout, now you got to at least say now they're doing everything they can to have the workout.
Right.
I mean, so that's my point.
That's what I'm saying. So indicating that they were previously stopping.
I don't see it that way.
I'll deal with that later when we express our feelings about it. I'm going to come back to you with a question because you've been a head coach in this league. You've been a positional coach. You've been an offensive coordinator in this league. You obviously have a lot of connections with a lot of people within the NFL. Did you get any impression at all that while you were talking to Colin Kaepernick's agent, attorney, first of all, did they give you any indication that they were not intending to show up to the workout prior to Saturday?
No.
And in terms of the NFL personnel that was there, I was told there were an abundance of African Americans working in National Football League who were in attendance. Rod Graves, the executive director for the Fritz Potter Alliance, was in attendance. Did you get the impression at all that the people that were there, 25 teams all total, were incredibly serious about looking at Colin Kaepernick and thinking this was the time, this might be his greatest chance?
There's no question in my mind that that was the case. That the people that were there for that reason, that they were going to do everything they could to put him and create the right environment for him to show his best.
Did you anticipate that if the workout went well, that Colin Kaepernick would have a job next season, or that he would have a job like this was happening because this is something that could potentially happen immediately, like within the next week or two?
That's what I felt, because why have it? I thought having the NFL personnel all there, having him there, and having the workout, and having the other executives that were there was to put him in the best position to have success.
And you did highlight,
to see if he can be on the team.
And you did highlight that workouts. For example, you said this Saturday, impromptu. You got a word Tuesday, and the workout would be Saturday. You're saying that's not abnormal for a workout in the NFL?
That sometimes it's shorter than that. It doesn't happen on a Tuesday. Sometimes like I say, it could be within 24 hours.
Coach, you didn't go, but have you seen footage of the workout?
No.
You haven't even seen footage of it.
Why wouldn't you want to watch the footage?
I didn't, because I didn't want to have asked again. I didn't want to look at something and all of a sudden have that in my mind that that's what it was. I think if you want to do it, if you're going to do it right, you need to see it yourself live and in person. And that's the only way I like to evaluate players.
Do you think we could see Cap in the NFL after this fiasco?
Absolutely. I don't think it's over. I don't. I just think there needs to be some give and take, as I said the other day, on both sides to, have this workout happen where these particular teams can evaluate this player.
Have you heard from people who were there what they thought, even though he wasn't under pressure and stuff like that, what they thought of how he looked?
I did not.
You haven't heard anything from anyone?
Not. From nobody. No one's called me and said, Hugh, this is what I saw.
So if that's the case, why are you confident that ultimately this particular situation could be revisited? There might be some give and take on both sides and it could potentially happen again. Why would you feel that way if he had a workout? 8 teams showed up, 6 left before the workout was over from what I was, 2 left before the workout was over from what I said. 6 ended up being there. The other 17 didn't show up at all. And you've not heard a single word from anybody, even though you've been connected to the league for decades and you know a lot of people, and nobody called you. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.